Well, hello again, and I have Morgan with me. I gotcha. It wasn't easy this time. I remember I wanted to get you on my show before you were too busy. So.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yes, you're a very talented young lady.
Well, thank you.
You're the CEO of this establishment.
I am the executive director of LTV. Yep. I've been here for about 18 months now.
Wow.
2 years as of next August. And it's been quite an adventure. I'm learning something new every day, too, which is always great.
Well, I'm glad to see you here. However, I know you from another venue.
Yeah.
Like you were an actress, a producer, director, and you like Shakespeare. You do many plays.
I am also the artistic director of Round Table Theater Company. We produced Macbeth here at LTV, which is how I got to know the staff and the board here, and one of the reasons they asked me to be interim executive director. And then also we produced Hamlet at Guildhall, and that was, let's see, about 2 years ago. And that's, the play's the thing. That's from Hamlet. So
Yes,
there you go.
it is. Yes, as a matter of fact, I'm thinking about changing the title of my show because every time I have to write something, it's such a long thing to do. The play is the thing. But where are you from, Morgan?
I'm from East Hampton. I grew up here.
You're a native.
I'm a native, yeah.
That's very rare.
It is rare, actually. Yeah, there are a few of us left.
Yes.
But I grew up here. I live in the house that I was brought home to when I was a baby. I went to school here. I went to high school until 10th grade here.
You're on Accabonac Road, right?
Accabonac Road.
Yeah,
and
I remember.
I went to college and I lived in Chicago and LA and Georgia and West Virginia, and then eventually I ended up back here.
Wow.
Yeah, I met my husband at graduate school, and we lived in LA a little bit after that, and then we came back here after my father passed away and took over the house, and that's what we've been doing for the past 5 years, I think.
So, as you said, you went to school here, and what did you do on those other towns that you mentioned?
I was acting in all of them. In Georgia, I went to school, and I also was touring from a company that is housed in Columbus, Georgia. They're called Springer Opera House, and I portrayed Patsy Cline. I sang, I don't know if you know who Patsy Cline is. She's a country singer. She sang
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
And there's 2 shows that follow her life. One is called Always Patsy Cline, and one is called A Closer Walk with Patsy Cline. And with Springer Opera House out of Columbus, Georgia, I toured with A Closer Walk with Patsy Cline. I was Patsy Cline, sang with a live band, all live instruments, toured all around the Southeast. And then after that, I did Always Patsy Cline in Winchester, Virginia, at a theater called Wayside Theater, which unfortunately is no longer there. But that was actually Patsy's hometown. So it was very fun to do that one because people would come up to me afterwards and say, I babysat for Patsy Cline, or I lived across the street from Patsy Cline, and that was really fun to do. And in Chicago, I was in acting and singing cabaret, and in LA, I was acting. I did a play, a Sondheim review there, and I did some commercials and things like that. And then I went to school for Shakespeare because I thought I want to be a real actress. Oh, no, I went to Shakespeare school before LA, which doesn't really make much sense.
So I have to confess that I'm not a fan of Shakespeare.
Really? How could that be?
I know that it was it you or your husband said that once you start watching the show, then you would like it.
Yes, I think that's true, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm into
What do you not like?
Well, it's like a different language. Well, I'm a foreigner here. I had to learn English. So with Shakespeare, I would have to learn another language.
Yeah. It is very difficult. It is, especially if it's not your mother tongue, because you have to sort of translate and then translate again.
Yes.
It's why we don't have do Pushkin plays here because it doesn't translate,
Yes.
or Molière. We try, but it isn't as good as in the original French.
Well, you're highbrow. Just like Josh Gladstone, he also likes.
He does. He was in our productions, both productions. He was in Macbeth as the porter, and he was in Hamlet as Polonius.
He
was wonderful in
I
both.
have seen that production. Your husband was in it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
And a lot of other people that I know were in it.
yeah.
Well, I love the theater. And
When did you start in the theater?
I'm not an actress, although I'm always acting. But I write plays.
Well, I knew that. When did you start doing that?
Oh, well, I don't know. The one time I had written a short story, and I knew of this fellow who was a director and a producer in a small circuit, and I wanted to get his notice. I figured if I make this short story into a play, that he would produce it. So I just rewrote this little thing into a play. It just comes naturally to me. I mean, a lot of people say, how do you do it? And it's so hard. For me, it just comes naturally. So it's called Oh Gregory. That's
Oh, yeah?
you've probably heard of it because I did a lot of play readings here.
Oh,
And I did that. I did that here, I did it here, I did it at Guildhall. And it's a comedy. It's about a bird.
Oh, really? And you find it easy to write dialogue? Because a lot of
Yes.
people find that to be really difficult, and it can be really awkward.
I find it easy to do plays or just regular stories, novels.
But you weren't drawn to writing plays initially. You were drawn to write a short story. So you wanted to tell a story
Yeah,
first.
I did. I was right ever since I'm 8 years old. I've been writing and writing and writing. Maybe it runs in the family. My mother's brother was a journalist.
Oh, really?
Which is the next question I was going to ask you. Does it run in the family, acting?
I think music really more. My grandfather was a art song composer. His name is John Duke, and he wrote art songs that many people learn how to sing with. So if you study voice in college or university or graduate school, you've probably sung some of my grandfather's songs, including Silver and Loveliest of Trees. What art song is that you take poems that have already been written, usually poems that have already been written. My grandfather did that. And you set them to music. And they're excellent ways to learn how to tell a story through song. And that's what the point is. So he's very well known in that area. And then my mother was a folk singer and a playwright.
Oh.
She wrote a couple plays for children and then one for adults that was picked up. She won the Susan Blackburn Prize. And then she also wrote some mystery novels. So we have that writing going on. I went to graduate school for journalism. I have a master's in journalism as well as a master's of fine arts in Shakespearean acting. It's kind of a strange combination. So we're a very artsy family.
Yeah.
Which were my parents moved out here in the early 60s with that sort of bohemian crowd that came out here at that point.
So, no wonder you are so talented.
Well, I don't know if I'm talented, but I certainly
Have
had
you
the bug.
written anything?
Have I written anything? Nothing that's been published. I'm not a prolific writer.
Well, nothing of mine have been published. Doesn't stop me from doing it.
That's true. I would say that I haven't written anything that I have wanted to perform or thought was worthy of being performed. And so,
Because everything I write, I think it's great.
oh really? That's good.
Yeah,
I guess. I tend to be the opposite. I think there are two kinds of artists.
Yeah.
People like you and people like me. I criticize everything that I do 100%. I tend to look with a very critical eye at myself especially. And for me, I think that's because of the, skill set that I have because I
Because
want
of
it to be.
Shakespeare. That's really very serious, and I think you're comparing everything to that kind of a writing.
I don't know if it's serious. I think it's just well done. Serious, I wouldn't. I think it is in some cases, but in some plays it's not. It's all, silly jokes.
Oh yes, he had written
Yeah.
a lot of comedies.
There's
yes.
the obviously
If
the
you
comedies, the
understand
histories,
it.
and if you understand it, and that's the problem with comedy, is that a lot of the comedy that he wrote is reflected by the time. So things that we right now don't think are funny because we don't understand what's going on.
Because we don't understand the language.
That's part of it. That's part of it.
No, but I know that like Midsummer Night's Dream is a comedy, and there is some others.
Yeah.
I'm a little familiar with his plays, not nearly as well as you.
Well, it takes a long time, and it is, and you have to have a passion for it. And if you don't,
Yes.
you don't. Who are your favorite playwrights?
Oh, me.
Okay.
No, Neil Simon. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
Neil Simon. He writes easy stuff, and I haven't seen anything lately, so I can't say that. I'm not up with today's.
But there are many other playwrights that from the past, and
Well, like Arthur Miller and. Oh, I can't think of, but I know I have been Somerset Maugham.
yeah.
See,
There you go.
and I know a few more. Would you care to talk about that young man I met in the drugstore?
Oh, that is my son Frankie.
Frankie.
He is well known. He's interested in theater, interested in the arts.
I know he had something going on that I wanted to see. I bought a ticket, but I never got there.
Yeah, he's been doing a couple different things. Yeah, he's 15. He goes to the high school, and he really enjoys it. He really enjoys.
And he lives with you.
He does. Yep. Yep. He does definitely. My husband and me and our 2 dogs.
And you
Yeah.
And your husband also is an actor.
Yeah, he's an excellent actor. He played Hamlet when we did this at Guildhall, and he directed Macbeth. He has the same degree that I have from the George Washington University's Academy of Classical Acting, as well as another graduate degree from Circle and Square Theater School in New York.
And he makes a living out of acting?
Right now, because we're out here, we find that really difficult to do. So he does a lot of freelance work right now. And he has, so that's what he's doing.
Freelancing what?
Freelancing, he'll basically do anything, but he does. We have done, recently we were hired to do a podcast. We do anything that's around.
You mean in acting, freelance, or in the theater?
In the theater, yeah.
Uh-huh.
In acting, he'll go to the city. He'll do all sorts of things like that. So it's a pretty nice little life. We like it out here. How long have you lived here?
Oh, more than 10 years, maybe 20 years.
And where are you from originally?
You mean where I was born?
Where you were born, yeah.
I was born in Budapest.
In Budapest.
Which is Hungary. Not to be confused with Bucharest, which is Romania.
Okay.
See, you're getting a little geography lesson.
And when did you move to the States?
Oh, gosh. Like 1947.
Wow. So you've lived here for a long time.
Before you were born.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely before I was born. And where did you move when you first moved here?
The Lower East Side.
So you're living in the Lower East Side in 1947.
East Houston Street, which I don't think is there anymore.
Oh, really? Oh.
Well, the house that I moved in, it's not anymore because they tore that down. They built those big projects up there.
Right.
And from there, I moved to Brooklyn, Flatbush, Brooklyn, and Oh, I've been many places.
Mostly on the East Coast. Have you ever lived on the West Coast or anywhere else in the United States?
Well, there was, I lived for 2 years, I lived in Las Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What brought you to Las
love
Vegas?
Love the slot machine.
Oh. So that was Las. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you do in Las Vegas?
Well, actually, not much. Went to the casinos.
Oh, really?
And the first time I went, they had like the one-armed bandits.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you
Right there.
and got tired.
Yeah, they still have those, don't they?
I don't think so. No. As a matter of fact, you can't even bet less than $5.
Oh, goodness.
I remember I used to bet pennies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yes.
When I lived in Montana for a while, and there was legalized gambling there, and we had there was a poker bar that I used to hang out in, and they had the Keno machines.
Oh, I hate the Keno machine.
You hated them?
Yeah, I never won on a Keno.
I did. I was okay at it, especially after a few drinks. Somehow I just get so much better at it. And then you
never, no matter what I did, jackpot party. That was one of the machines. Party.
Oh, really? I know they make all the lights and the sounds and everything. Yeah. It's like you're a kitten.
So, which part do you like better? You like the acting better, or this what you do now, which is a lot of administrative work?
I like being creative more. I mean, right now, I get to be creative in a different way, but my heart is in the theater.
Yes.
And so we are making a few changes at LTV, and we hope to be having more room for people to come and be creative and make films. And
I'd love to do that.
One of the things we're doing is we're going to be changing this set.
You're kidding.
We are.
Changed because when I first started, everything was black.
I think we might be heading a little bit in that direction.
Again?
With sets that will move in so that everybody can have a different set for them. But that's in the next couple months. We're going to be doing that. This room will change around a bit.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And then we're going to be we've updated some lights and some access in the kitchen where we have a couple new shows.
I did a few shows in the kitchen.
I think the kitchen is a great set. It's really, it makes people want to talk. Just being in a kitchen, I think, is so comfortable.
I love to cook.
Yeah. Oh, you do?
Yes.
I'm a terrible cook.
No.
Just terrible.
I can't believe that. You're creative, and that's like a creation.
I know, but I'm not creative in that area. I let other people be creative in that area.
Yeah, I like to be creative in the kitchen.
Oh, yes. See, that's great. I think that's wonderful. I think that it's too bad. My grandmother was an amazing cook, and my mother didn't, but I think my mother was, born in 1932, and I think my grandmother.
Was I.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And I think my grandmother didn't want her to become a cook. It was like a sort of in a feminist way, but in a way, I think we've really lost that part of.
Where are they from?
My grandmother was from Virginia. She was from D.C.
You're a Native American.
She was a DAR, actually, a Daughter of American Revolution. My family goes way back in the United States. Not that it's better than anybody else or anything. I don't think it is.
You were one of the natives, like you came on the Mayflower?
Well, I'm not Native American.
Huh?
I'm European coming over here.
I mean, I didn't mean Indian.
Yeah.
I meant came over on...
Well, I think that, in the South, people of my grandmother's age were always trying to prove their genealogy. It's very big, and it was very big when she was there. So there's all sorts of, trying to figure out if your ancestors were on the Mayflower. And the farthest back that I've found was this woman named Thankful Waterman, who lived in Massachusetts. I can't remember the name of the town, but it's Thankful. What a great name.
Thankful.
So she is my great grandmother, and we had some old deeds in our house, and I found these deeds saying, you have the land up to where the third stone meets the oak tree. And you're just imagining how this is. And then, it says her signature is just an X because she wasn't literate. So her mark, it says next to it.
Fascinating.
I know. I
It
forget.
is.
I honestly can't. Maybe it's Watertown, but it can't be because it's Waterman. I don't know. It's somewhere. It's somewhere in Massachusetts, by Cape Cod area. So those are.
It's not anywhere near Salem, is it?
No. No witches. I mean, yes, many witches, but none. In my family that I know of.
Well, I was told that my mother used to tell me she picked me up in a gypsy camp.
Oh, really?
Yes.
When did she say that? When she was mad at you? Or just in general?
I don't know. Maybe I am I'm a
Who
gypsy.
knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine you're not, but.
Lois Wright, who does a show here, she had me on a show once, and then we dressed up as gypsies, and we talked about gypsies.
Oh, she's a treasure.
She is.
She's been doing shows here for I don't even know how many years. I think
30 years.
30 or
maybe.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
She's something else. Matt used to love her show. Used to kid her a lot.
Oh yeah.
Matt. What's his name? Sabina's husband.
Oh yes. Yep.
Yes. The real Lois show, and one time I bought one of those birthday crowns, and I said to Lois, okay, I'm crowning you as Miss LTV, Mrs. LTV.
She deserves to be Mrs. LTV at this point.
Yes, and Matt loved that.
When did you start doing a show here?
Oh yeah, I started like more than 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago.
Goodness.
Yes, I was here before. Well, now you are, and before that it was Seth, before that it was Mike, and before that it was somebody, Jed, or somebody. I mean, I've known everybody.
Oh, wow.
Not as long as Lois, and not as long as Henry.
Yeah.
Henry also is a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I went through a lot of staff.
There've been some changes.
Yeah. You have to roll with the changes.
Yeah. And I think LTV has done that, and it's gotten better and better.
I would love to do one of my plays here. You have a nice little stage here, and I'm going to inquire about it and see how it can be done. And that's someplace down in the line. Yeah. And it's too bad you don't have time to do shows.
No, I don't really. We might do some things,
You
but
don't have time for Shakespeare.
No, Shakespeare is tough to have time for.
Billy, you like Billy.
Yeah. Shakespeare's tough to have time for, but who knows? We might do something this spring. I have an idea about something that Roundtable will do, probably here or maybe somewhere else.
Yeah. So you said nobody else invited you? I'm surprised. I thought everybody invited you.
No, I've been on Phyllis's show. I don't really enjoy. I'm not a camera-hungry person. So, and besides, I'm usually so busy.
I know.
That taking time out. But it's worth it taking time out for you today.
Oh, it is.
And thank you very much.
And well, what is the next project your husband is going to do?
He's working on a two-hander play to do at the John Drew Theater Lab that they do.
Oh.
So he's just doing a reading, and that's what he's working on next.
Oh, reading, yes.
A reading. A little bit more. They do, the JDT Lab, they do things on Tuesday nights, and they are, I don't know if it's every Tuesday night, but they, so it's a wonderful program. I think it's free. I think you can go for free.
It is free. I did all 3 plays that I did. I had a reading at that stage. Yeah. At that stage, I remember the very first one. Josh Gladstone said I had the most audience.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just did one, Bonnie Grice, and just did one that had about 250 people show up. I think it was Ed German from PPB. They did a show of his, and that was really, really well received. And then Joe Bronder did his show there. And so there's
Yes.
a bunch of different things going on.
Right. And don't forget, before I forget, don't forget to watch me on YouTube.
That's right. That's right.
I have more than 200 of my shows
Really?
uploaded on
Wow.
YouTube. Would you believe I did more than 200 shows?
That is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have as many fingers to.
No,
As to
you do not
count.
have 200 fingers.
Not the last time I
Not the
looked.
last time you looked.
Yeah. So it's been really wonderful, and I hope that this show is going to get a lot of hits on YouTube.
Well, I hope it does too for you, and I look forward to hearing more about whatever your next play is and your next project, and we will.
And right now I'm working on a book that I started about 25 years ago.
Really?
And I never finished. I finished the first chapter,
Oh, okay.
but I'm having problems with the second chapter.
Oh, really? How many chapters are there going to be?
Just two.
Oh, that's good.
Because I brought more and more things happening, and I sort of complicated the whole story, and I'm just trying to figure out which is the best way to go. So I'm sure that people out there are dying to read it.
I'm sure 25 years to 2 chapters. That should be the title.
You know what a title is?
What?
I found a story, because I found this story among my papers, and I started reading it. I couldn't believe how good it was.
Who wrote the story?
I did.
Oh, you found a story from when you were younger?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I forgot to say goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for coming.